Hey, welcome back. Rabbit Culture here from Narcissist Ninjas. Come see us on Facebook. Just plug in Narcissist Ninjas. We're the only Narcissist Ninjas out there. Yeah, we're ninjas. This is an interesting look at Teal Swan, the so-called guru. And as we knock down a few little pieces, parts of her personality, I guess you would call it, we can see that it's quite possible that just like all gurus, all cult leaders, you got to take them with a grain of salt. Now, I was introduced to Teal Swan. I never knew anything about her, never saw her face, never heard her teachings, never listened to her stuff. But the other day, a friend of mine posted this on her page about, healing yourself before having kids. And I thought, what an excellent concept. If people did this, the world would be a better place, right? And then she went and said, oops, that's from Teal Swan. Oh, well, it's still good, even though it's from her crazy self. And that led me to think, what's going on here? Let me explore. So here she is. Pretty enough, right? She has is that an ashram? Forgive me if that's the wrong dress. She has a beautiful meditative look. She has the image to go with her counseling services, or whatever you would call educational services. I was drawn to her. I looked through her channel, and as I talked to a few people and read a few things about her, I heard that she professes to be the most intelligent person in the world. She's an alien. Only her path is the path to greater healing. And with these images coming at me, and it wasn't going along with the images I was seeing, and the wonderful meditation ideas she had and the topics. And so I became real curious about examining this character. And as I kept researching, I could not find those things that where she said she was the most intelligent person in the world and all these things. And it's quite possible that those things got erased, because by the look of things, it looks like she is trying to adjust her image a little bit. And certain things might have been removed as a result of that. But I will post a link for Dr. Grande's analyzation below, because I trust his viewpoint, and he doesn't do anything without research first. And he has said that she has come out and said she thought that she was one of the most intelligent people in the world, and had a very high IQ, and that people would be blessed to be in her presence, and all these different things. And I trust the different things that he and others have reported, because the people that I listen to about, analyzing and stuff are usually people that definitely do their research and just don't slap things out without reading about it and figuring out, what they're saying is as factual as possible. So here you have some of her topics and a little ad about her new meditation service. And I listened to one of her meditations, and it was really good. And I'm all about meditation. I really need to be doing more of it. I have found that it really, really helps my healing journey. And there is research done that says that meditation can literally connect things that are in your brain that have been scrambled. If you spend time in meditation, it can really help get things back on track. And I have found myself, especially during this crazy year we've been through, I've found that meditation has definitely helped calm me and put things in a better perspective. And when I'm not involved with it, I see my life getting a little crazier, So I'm definitely a big supporter of her techniques and all about healthy boundaries and healing. I mean, all these things are wonderful, right? What can be wrong? But with a deep dive, you can get to see there are some things that are a little freaky deaky. And she does definitely go left of center and kind of get you a little kind of questioning her character. One thing is, I'm not good at, say she has all these things about healthy boundaries and light meditation and all these good positive vibrations. If you mix in the crazy with that, like the fact that she believes she's of another dimension and she's part alien, when you mix in that, I get kind of like nervous of mixing energies with her and doing her meditations. But that's just me.
So how many other of ET races are third dimensional?
Almost every one of them. It's an option. That's the difference. For most humans, it's not really an option at this point to be physical or non-physical. Their only access to non-physical stuff is when they're sleeping at night, and then they're not conscious of it. But a lot of extraterrestrial races have shifted into the 6th and 7th dimensional realities, physicality is a choice they can make. So they exist most of the time in 6th dimensional reality, but then they can focus themselves into a state where they make love or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And so they can step into third dimensional reality at will.
Yes.
And so they would then appear to us to be another person? Yeah,
many of them would. But the problem with stepping into a third dimensional consciousness in an extraterrestrial embodiment is that those embodiments are not going to be compatible with Earth. I think it's super funny that most people don't understand, well, if there's so many aliens in the universe, why wouldn't they immediately show themselves? Now, that's a whole other subject because it has to do with why they wouldn't show themselves when they can. But there's a whole group that can't, literally couldn't, even if they wanted to. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. The Arcturian race, right? The Arcturian race has an embodiment, a physical embodiment, which is not compatible with nitrogen at all. Now, placing them in an environment where there's high levels of nitrogen, which there are on this particular planet, is a lot like putting a slug in salt. It would evaporate. Bam. So, it's funny because we humans, we can't even go to the depths of the ocean on our own planet, and we're confused about why other extraterrestrial beings wouldn't just be able to.
So there's a lot of interesting points. Wikipedia. Okay, it's not the best source of, material and information, but it's not the worst. I have double fact-checked a lot of things I've read on Wikipedia and found it to be true and accurate according to more secure documents. Of course, Wikipedia has been known to have a lot of false information because it's created by the public. But you know what? What I have found is that especially people in the public eye tend to keep up with their Wikipedia presence so that their reputation, is staying intact and stuff like that. So it's not the worst place to get information. But, we won't use it in our scholarly journals, right? Anyway, what's very interesting about Teal Swan is that one of her controversial parts of her content is that she has been known to almost support suicide. Now, she doesn't come outright and say, go kill yourself. She doesn't do that. She just makes comments in terms of, well, if you decide to kill yourself, you're just resetting your life. It's a reset. Or it's not all that bad. It's a personal choice. Things like this, which is not telling people to do it. However, just think of someone with the mindset of on the edge, not feeling right, and thinking about ending their life, and they hear things like that. Are you telling me that it wouldn't push them to the edge? Oh, here's someone who understands me and supports me. Let me do it. I don't think she has a clear understanding of how she can harm people in that manner. And when she was confronted on this in an interview, and I will post it below, you can listen to it yourself, she literally does something really spooky and laughs. She was very cocky and said, that's a joke to think I would think that. It was very condescending. It was very cocky. And it was very, shall I dare say it? Let me look around. No one's listening. Narcissistic. Yeah, she seemed very cold on that question. And she is one that tries to convince the public that she's this most empathetic person in the world, right? The other thing I found extremely spooky was that she said, oh, well, anyone who listens to me is unstable anyway. So if they probably were going to do it anyway. And I'm like, what the heck is that? So you're calling all of your so-called followers or all your people that are involved with you, they're all unstable. So what? You're their healer. You're up above them. And what's very interesting about this Wikipedia thing, didn't know this. I never heard anyone else mention it. I'm the first. Yay. Anyway, her mother said that she attempted suicide as a kid herself. She was involved with a cult, and they were extreme. It looks like extreme abuse. And I found that on a number of different sites. The abuse was horrific. If it's accurate and true, like what better way to get back at an abuser or a cult leader, right? Imagine as a kid, if you're horrifically raped and went through such trauma by the hands of a cult leader, then you are going to turn that around and become a cult leader yourself. Wow. Wouldn't that give you a sense of overcoming your past and becoming, not a victim? And it just all kind of sifts together to be very disturbing. And something's off in Tinkletown. Something's off. And like I said earlier, she has a lot of great, calming, seemingly interesting talks, but something's underneath. Things are not connecting. So there's a number of stories about people that were involved with Teal Swan over the years. She's had 3 husbands. Suspect, right? No, well, I can't say nothing about relationships because I certainly am no expert. But 3 husbands back to back. I just know from previous exposure and, of course, studying about narcissism that people who tend to go from relationship to relationship are highly narcissistic. They have to have validation and prove that there's nothing wrong with them, so they jump into another relationship. Because oftentimes in relationships, and it gets us to question ourselves and what we are doing to perpetuate negativity in our lives, right? Now, one thing about it, she also has, this girl, she knows her stuff. She has a video out on narcissism. I guess I'll link that one too. Let me write this down, link that there. Okay, so I'll link that one below as well. She actually is very on point with her analysis of narcissism. She's got it to a T. However, what I noticed in that video was that she seemed to be trying to gain sympathy from anyone who was listening and saying, oh, narcissists can change. And, she just had a tone that was a little disturbing about kind of on the cusp of supporting narcissists. And to be honest, I got a little inkling that she was trying to say, hey, I'm a narcissist, but I'm going to change. Now, I could be wrong. You know what Dr. Grande says, we cannot diagnose anyone. But she kind of was talking to me. She was in that video talking about herself. And she understood the twists and turns of a narcissist like few can. And you know what that could mean, right? It could mean that it's quite possible that she is a narcissist. No one knows, right? But again, I will link that video as well so you can listen to that if you're interested. With this one particular friend that I have up here, she wrote a story, and oh my God, it went on forever and ever. I couldn't read it all. It was just too long. And to be honest, I got bored. But it was interesting to see her analysis of being very close to this person, and then the image not matching who she thought, she was getting to know. The lady was called Ghost, and she wrote in Celestial Reflections. And she talked a lot about how Teal, on a personal level, her main focus was money and wealth, and doing everything to present herself in a way that she could earn money. And everything was about the money. Even when she found out about the person, I think one of the persons in her cult, her group, committed suicide, her reaction was more to say, dang, that's going to mess up my image, rather than feel the empathy of that what the family is going through. Now, a while later, she came out and put a very minute reflection about a person committing suicide. It was very general. It was very tiny. It was hardly, you could blink and it would be gone. So I guess the article in that way was interesting to read, to get that reflection about her, her experience with her. All right, piecing it all together, you have to come to your own conclusions, right? Like I said, loved some of her sayings. She sounds so positive, very reflective, but I get a vibe of alien from her. So if she thinks she's an alien, I'm going to believe her. And I don't like hanging around with aliens. Aliens just give me a little creepy vibe. And I'm going to get my meditation information and my clarity from someone else. I definitely would not buy any of her materials. I can't even, at this point, meditate to her meditations, because I'm afraid like the alien might come in and take over my body or something. All right, I'm being facetious, but aliens are not for me. She admits to being an alien, so that's the bottom line. Another little interesting fact, I've often wondered if narcissists were aliens, because they live in their own kind of worlds, and they really kind of care less about the rest of us. They're over there doing something, we're not sure why. She gives a good reflection right now for me. Teal Swan, it would be an entertainment, on the entertainment level, not on a spiritual level. But you all guys, if you like aliens, you go for that. If you want any more information of what I have discovered about narcissism, please, like I said at the beginning here, come see me and some of my friends over at Narcissist Ninjas. Have a great day. It's Florida here and it's real hot, so I'm gonna have a swim. And I hope I don't see any aliens. Have a good day, guys.